Hi, welcome to another episode of Spit Takes. I'm your host, Jens Anderson, aka Spittle.
And I'm co-host Ellen Anderson.
And we are here to talk to you today about the latest episode of The Flash.
Flash. Oh.
Nope, that's a different Flash, but I get where you're going.
I like that Flash too.
I like that song. Dum 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 dum. Dive! Maybe we can get Hawkman on there. Oh, if they had Hawkman on, we might have the makings of a crossover. But we digress. Okay.
Already.
Boy, that didn't take long. We are here to talk about this episode of Flash, which is called The Nuclear Man. And it had really two storylines going on that we're going to cover. Detective West and Cisco investigating the death of Barry Allen's mom, the murder. They're kind of reopening that case.
So they go back to...
we'll get into it. Hold on. And we're also going to talk about a neat storyline going on that is the title of the episode, The Nuclear Man, with Firestorm, Ronnie Raymond, and Professor Stein. Okay, so let's talk about the Detective West Cisco one. What were you saying? They're going back where?
So they go back to Barry's original childhood house.
Yes, where the murder took place.
Right, and the
man in yellow.
The new owner of the house is very gracious and lets...
Gracious? She's a slutty hoe. Gracious, she just wants to get tapped by Detective Allen. She's all like, I am recently divorced. Here are my boobies! Come on in.
So she's a bit of a seductress, but she's pretty nice. She's pretty nice for letting these strangers come into her home, right? Even
Would you like some coffee? Because I'm going to roofie it, and then I'm just going to ride on you. You're going to wake up on my bed, all tied up. That's what I got out of that.
He would be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, he might be. I don't know.
So anyway, it's pretty nice. They're trying to figure out. First, I think they do some kind of scan, and they're trying to see if they can find any blood.
Cisco makes like this miracle light, right? Like some kind of crazy. What does he call it? I forget. He has a name for it.
Super UV.
No, it's
Super
something.
Light?
It's something like that.
Super light.
And he talks about then like. Detective West is like, well, what do you mean it's a blah? And he's like, and he goes through this long explanation of what it actually is, but I figured that was too much for you, so I'm going to call it the blah. I forget what the heck he called it, the super light.
Super light. We'll call it super light, because I can't remember the name. And what is the name? The name is here, because we probably botched it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's got the super light. At first, they can't find anything, and as he's looking around... I think they also have some of the files with them of the original case.
They've definitely got all of the notes.
Some old photos.
Yeah.
And in the photo, he sees this dresser thing, and it's a
mirror.
It's got a mirror on it, but it's like a dresser, and I think it's got a mirror attached to it, or maybe it's just a mirror. I don't know. I don't remember. I was probably multitasking at the time.
Right.
Multitask. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.
A man can't do it.
But anyway, so he sees that, and he looks to the side, and he's like, I see the same mirror. So he goes to it and goes into a lot of, technical mumbo jumbo about how images can be caught in this particular type of mirror, because the mirror is really old.
It's kind of like this CSI meets Antique Roadshow.
Yeah.
It's basically like, these old mirrors are made with silver nitrate backing on the blah, which is basically like a photograph.
Yeah. And it can capture many photographs at the same time.
Yeah. So
he starts looking at that. And I think next to that, they see a little piece of peeling wallpaper.
No. What happens is they take this mirror, and Cisco makes some freaking wonder machine out of nowhere. He MacGyvers this thing together that actually lets him... and a magnifying glass and a flashlight.
Casey, hand me that paperclip.
You got it.
Jojo, grab that twine.
I'm on it.
Casey, gum wrapper.
Right here.
Jojo, that dog turd.
What?
The dog turd right by your foot.
I'm not picking up that dog turd.
And he basically, a car battery and some wires, and then I'm able to create this 3D magical image of all these layers of photographs of the night of the killing.
Yes.
Right? So apparently,
in a matter of minutes,
the actual Speed Force energy that was going on there was enough to catalyze like an image onto the silver of the mirror. And so he's actually able to render it in 3D. How convenient! And not only 3D...
That's how the duct tape helped. When
Yes.
they put all that together.
Because duct tape makes anything go into 3D.
Right.
It's that awesome of technology. The tape is so superior. Scotch tape, you can't make 3D shit out of Scotch tape.
No.
Duct tape, hell yes. So they basically, not only is it in 3D, it's in 3D projected into the space of the actual house. So it's like real-time 3D. So,
yeah.
I don't know. He pulls this out of his ass. Cisco's amazing, apparently. And that's when Detective West starts like noticing the crime scene. And that's the first time you really hear that there were two of them there. Two speedsters.
Right, and they do that because they're in the... They peel back some wallpaper and there's a blood...
Right, he sees this thing happening. There are two speedsters there, and he realizes that they might even be fighting or something. Mm-hmm. And then he kind of tracks down and he goes, this wallpaper's new. Then they peel it back. Right.
And there's blood splatter.
There's a blood splat there. So they take the blood splat, and then we learn that freaking West is all over Harrison Wells.
Yep. What is he all over him for?
He doesn't trust him. He wants Cisco to be like, I want you to match this against somebody very specific. And he's like, who? Harrison Wells.
So he overly suspects that it's Harrison Wells.
Which is weird because he then actually suspects that Harrison Wells is a speedster.
Yes.
That he's a meta.
He doesn't trust him. He thinks he's hiding something.
Yeah. He
likes the man, but he doesn't trust him at the same time.
Right. So interesting kind of thing. And Cisco gets very offended by the whole thing.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to do it.
Doesn't want to do it. Thinks it's wrong. He trusts the guy. But he runs the test anyway.
Yeah, for shits and giggles. He runs a test. And what he comes back with, spoiler, is that it's...
The whole show is spoilers.
That it's Barry's blood.
Barry's blood.
Which is crazy. So I started thinking, okay,
what?
Of the possibilities. Why Barry is there. And there's a second speedster. So now you know there's two. Right? There's Barry and then there's this other speedster.
The other one.
And... which apparently doesn't match up with Harrison Wells.
Well, we don't know if it might have been just Barry was the one who was wounded, so we have no idea.
It's true. It's true.
That reverse flash that was there.
So there's the obvious. The obvious to me is Barry is there to stop the murder of his mom.
He's trying to rewrite history. And
then I was like, man, that is just too obvious, right? And because rewriting history is dangerous. And then there's a whole time paradox thing, which we'll get into in a little bit. So rewriting history could also mean that if he prevents his mother's death, then he possibly doesn't even become the Flash, which means the course of the future completely changes.
Exactly.
And it could be for the worse. It could cause a nuclear war the next year, for all we know. So I'm hoping it's not the obvious. I'm hoping that it's my theory, which
What's your theory?
My theory is that he has to make sure that that his mom dies as she's supposed to.
He has to make sure that she does.
Yeah, I think someone's trying to alter the past to affect the future and not have Barry become the Flash. To get him out of the way.
Or very much he has to go back and he knows that his mom is going to die, but he can't intervene.
Right.
Right? So, I mean, it might be the kind of thing where Reverse Flash has some scheme and they end up going back in time and Barry didn't even know he was going to be back there. And he sees this about to happen, but he doesn't stop it.
Or
I don't know.
Can't stop it, doesn't stop it, knows that if he does stop it, that it's bad news.
Oh my God.
Which is a hard decision.
Off of your theory, here's a total... I know you know that I know, so, right? I know you know I know that I know that you know that I know, okay? So, what if Barry does try and go back to stop his mom from being killed, but Reverse Flash needs to stop Barry from stopping his mom from being killed and kills her? Like, initially, Reverse Flash kills Barry's mom. Barry goes back to stop Reverse Flash from killing Barry's mom. Reverse Flash goes back to prevent Barry from stopping Reverse Flash from killing Barry's mom.
My mind.
Boom!
So you guys should let us know what your theory is.
Yeah, what's your time travel paradox theory on this moment with two speedsters and Barry's blood being on the scene? That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Got my brain thinking on that one.
Right. All right, so that's pretty much that storyline going on with the big bomb dropping about Barry's blood being at the
Right.
crime scene all those many years ago. But it's definitely like not Barry's childhood blood because they go into that. He's like, no, there's a certain kind of genetic marker that tells you the age. This is an adult Barry
Right.
Allen. Right.
So let's talk about Stephen Amell's cousin.
Why? So I gotta basically fuck this Amell family, man. Taking off their shirts with their pecs and their abs and their manscaping on both shows that we watch. I gotta deal with man candy bullshit twice a week. Twice a week. I better start working out.
We out here
Better
to
start.
Bob.
I mean, I have to deal. I have to deal with both Amells on a weekly basis as well. So suck it
So
up.
this is a great episode where we deal with Firestorm. Very, very, very cool stuff.
Snore number one.
Might have been 2, actually. We'll see. Ronnie Raymond on the playback. We'll have to watch the tape. Ronnie Raymond and Professor Stein are a big part of this. I loved this episode for that. Flash is really not part of that other investigation. That was really Cisco and Detective West. This is where Caitlin, Harrison Wells, and Barry are all trying to help Ronnie Raymond. And they actually do track him down. They go to Professor Stein's house, and you see Harrison Wells is completely jealous of Professor Stein's brilliance. We learn Barry met Professor Stein the day of the accident too on a train, which is kind of cool. And this is interesting. So when Firestorm was first introduced, there was an accident that fused together Professor Stein and Ronnie Raymond, and Ronnie Raymond was kind of like a dumb jock. Right? Which I think you told me you really liked, that they don't make him a dumb jock in this. Or maybe I was talking to somebody else about it. That they don't make Ronnie a dumb jock. Ronnie's like a freaking physicist in this. Like, he's really freaking smart.
Right.
Right? And that was very cool. But what happens in the original stuff is that when they join together, Ronnie Raymond is still Ronnie Raymond. Like, it's his... They're the Firestorm Matrix, and they are Firestorm. They physically change. But it's more Ronnie's visage, and it's Ronnie talking. Like, Ronnie is the one that talks to the outside world. But Professor Stein is like a voice in Ronnie's head, and they like have conversations with each other, right? They talk. It's not so...
Because they're sharing.
They're sharing. But in this, it's Ronnie's body... But it's completely Professor Stein's personality, and Ronnie's personality is suppressed. He's more... Professor Stein can feel his yearnings, his needs, his
It's like Stein's
wants.
the brain and he's the bronze.
Right, and
Master Blaster.
they even say, like, that they took the best of both, right? Ronnie's body
And
and
the dominant
Professor's
one.
mind.
The brain, the dominant one. But I think they were talking about dominance. The physical dominance of Ronnie.
The physical prowess of Ronnie
Right.
and the mental aptitude of
Right.
Professor Stein. It took the best of both and sort of merged them into one being, which is a little bit of a knock on Ronnie's supposed status as a physicist. But that's okay, because clearly Stein is brilliant.
And they have the memories and feelings of both.
Yeah, some memories, like Stein's talking about a waterfall that he remembers that he'd never been there before, and that's where Ronnie proposed to Caitlin,
Right.
all that kind of stuff. So we see that when this first happened, like, I mean, even Ronnie, the Firestorm, the new Firestorm entity, was like gone for a month, and then finally goes back to Stein's home, but doesn't realize he's kind of not himself, and then he starts going crazy and getting schizophrenic. They give him some kind of medication which clears his mind a whole bunch, and he's able to be cognizant of what's going on and talk to the team and try and work out a solution and be shirtless on a lab table for an extended period of time.
How convenient.
Yes, how convenient. So what ends up happening, though, is he really is unstable. We
Right.
learn that he's fracturing. He's going to explode.
And it's not just an explosion. He's going to go nuclear.
He's going to go nuclear. And the only way to really stop it from happening is to kill Ronnie's body, right? Which would kill them both.
Right.
And Caitlin's like, I'm not going to lose him again. You've got some time.
But
you
the
need to fix
solution
this
is
shit.
pretty nutty.
Right, they're going to split him.
Yeah, well, and the solution is nutty because of what they use for
oh,
this. I
Well, they
forget what
make
call
this
it,
device, a quantum
splitter,
splicer,
whatever,
right?
splicer.
A quantum splicer or something like that. And I was looking at it, and I kept thinking, that doesn't really look like anything about Firestorm, right?
Right.
And eventually, Ronnie leaves the base or the Star Labs area because he wants to go outside and the city and get away from, create a safe blast zone and get the heck away. And he does that, but the Flash and Caitlin run after him with this device, and they eventually put the device on him.
Yeah, but what's the device made out of? Harrison Wells.
The Speed Force, tachyons.
Yeah, he's got that tachyon device that he's been working on to try and get this suit, and he literally is like...
He gives it up.
He gives it up, and Gideon is like, this is going to set you back.
Yep.
You understand that, and it could set him back years for all we know. So he's willing to do that because he feels responsible. And he he also cares for Caitlin.
Maybe. But he also says to Gideon, right? I think, look, Harrison Wells is a devious fuck, okay? And unless they turn him around in some way. But I think outwardly what he's going to make it look like and benefit to spin it to his own gain is that he, although no one knows about the tachyon suit, so he can't spin this in any way, but he does invent this thing. I think the reason he does that is he says flat out to Gideon, well, Gideon, what will really set me back is if the city goes nuclear and there is no more Central City.
Right.
That's what he really is like. If Central City blows up, then I have no future to come from. There is no Flash in the future. All is undone.
Right.
So he's kind of forced to. But I think you're right. You know, I did get this kind of sense of honor, and he cared a little bit. But that there was that one cynical comment.
And he's looking at the bigger picture too, because it's not just Caitlin and those people; it's a lot of people's lives.
Right.
And it would also screw him.
Well, now I don't know. I
don't
mean to be so contrary.
So I have the feeling they'll take this thing back and get the team to work on it without them knowing that they're also going to be benefiting him.
Oh, I think there's something else going on there with that. Let me get to that in a second.
Anyway.
So I do kind of disagree, though, that he's trying to save lives because he was willing to kill Firestorm to save millions of lives. He was like, it's the lives of 2 people compared to the lives of millions.
And as I said, it's looking at the bigger picture, which is...
Sure. But I don't know. I think you like the character so much. You're giving him a little more of a good slant.
You know what?
Than
I'm
he
evil
has.
at heart, and I'm a villain. So yeah.
What?
You gonna wash your hands?
No, 'cause I'm evil.
So he goes outside of the town and is going to be prepared to sacrifice himself, and Caitlin brings the device by being carried by the Flash, and they put it on him. But and when they did it, freaking I had a nerdgasm because when they put it on him and it deployed, Ellen, it's the Firestorm costume. It literally had the belt, the 3 bands that come around, and the dots over here. Like, it literally formed the costume, okay? I mean, it was over the clothes he had on, but that was the primary kind of element of the costume itself was created at that moment. So awesome. And then he heats up. He freaking explodes in this nuclear explosion, and then, Flash is trying to outrun it. Meanwhile, at the very end, the General... takes up on it. He's like, let's go get Firestorm. So he knows something about what just happened there too. Really interesting stuff. But what I think is happening, what I'm going to theorize is the split was successful. And now somehow that device is going to become, that's basically where the Firestorm Matrix is now. And Ronnie and Professor Stein will be able to join and split and fuse and split and fuse and split and fuse and split.
Cool.
And it will be around this device somehow as part of the costume now. Very, very awesome stuff. I love that. I literally was like, oh my god, it's the costume! It's the costume! I was freaking out. So awesome. I love that episode. It was really good.
And besides that, what else was going on? Wasn't there some dates, I think, with Barry?
Barry was screwing up his love life with Linda Park the whole time.
Because he's unexperienced
with
the ladies.
A little inexperienced with the ladies. And oh my god, did Iris totally cockblock him or what? She's very confused. What is wrong with women? I want to know.
I told you, she's like Lana in Smallville. I just want her to go at this point. She's in the way.
Well, she can't. She's a huge, massive part of all this kind of stuff. It's tough.
Yeah, she kind of screwed him.
Yeah.
Because you know what? And I think
her JJ got the better of her.
I think she did that a little on purpose.
She totally did. She's jealous.
But you know what? She blew Barry off. You know,
Moves in with another guy.
You know, said they were just friends. You know, that's a curse. And yeah, and he kind of moved on from her, as he should.
Yeah, and then she really undermined him. It really sucked. But Barry did his own screwing up as well. Because, but you know what? It reminded me of the Arrow episode that we're going to talk about in the next Spit Takes also. But, you know, in that one, spoiler for Arrow, because this isn't an Arrow episode. So spoiler alert for Arrow. You know, she finds out about Ollie and is like, oh my God, all this time that you were ducking out on me and doing this stuff, you were saving lives. And it just, she forgave him instantly. And you kind of wonder if, like, all that stuff that I wanted, you know that moment's going to happen later with the two of them, too. It's like, holy shit, you're the Flash? That's why you've been doing all this weird stuff and being a bad date? I get it now. It totally makes sense. But, of course, it's too early to expose that. So.
Or she's just going to be a complete bitch. I have
Yeah,
no idea.
we
She's
don't
just
know.
going to be like,
We'll
I
see.
hate you.
We'll see.
You lied to me.
You
So-
kept it from me. You should have trusted me and told me. Bitch, we were on our first date.
Exactly. So it could go either way. Anyway.
All right, good episode, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely good episode. Love that episode. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Spit Takes. We do appreciate you watching. If you want to subscribe to YouTube, please do. Leave us comments. We love to hear the comments. Want to hear your feedback on the show. If you're watching it, give us a like. Those are really important. You know, help us get some more subscribers here. We're looking to get to, oh my God, we're like, I forget how many we have right now. Let's try and get to 3,000. That would be awesome. Also,
awesome.
you can check out live streams on Twitch channel. And if you would, check out our Patreon page. We really could use your support for the shows. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.
Next week.